Hello, everyone. Welcome to uh, the webinar with Melinda Joseph. She's the marketing director of Sterling Trading Tech, and she will be giving us some information about how the brokerage works. The webinar is called Ins and Outs of brokerages, and who else from someone that has platform, an electronic brokerage, and a pretty cool one. And we met Melinda a year ago or 2 years ago, where we collaborated together for the Pip Trade Challenge. And I think she's a great speaker for this topic. Thank you very much for joining, Melinda.
Yes, thank you for having me. I am disabled from sharing my screen at the moment.
Okay, I'll enable you.
Thank you both, Juan and Ali and Peep Trade for having Sterling. We are actually purely software, so we are completely broker neutral and work with a lot of different brokerages as a software provider. So I'm excited to share a little bit about the ins and outs of different types of traders and different types of trading platforms as all of you are getting started trading. Next level, right?
Yeah, now.
Yes, now I can share. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. So for all of you that are live, thank you so much for joining in. For all of you that will be watching recorded, thank you as well. Thank you, Peep Trade. On behalf of Sterling, I'm super excited to be talking a little bit about a platform for every trader and what that means as well. So many of you may be new traders that are just learning to trade or participating in Peep Trade's competitions daily and weekly. There's our retail traders who follow the markets closely, typically position trade or hold positions for multiple days. There are active traders who trade frequently, open and close positions in the same day. They may have day jobs. They're not really earning a living, if you will, through trading profits. Then you have professional traders who are earning their living by trading, and in some cases they might be trading their own accounts or they might be trading for a prop firm. Institutional traders who trade for hedge funds or banks, and then of course veteran traders who have deep experience and knowledge on market microstructure, order routing, and proven track records, and we'll get into all that a little bit. Different types of traders have different types of strategies, as you all may know as you're getting started into discovering different types of strategies. And at different points in your careers, you may require different platforms. Now, I don't golf, but follow me. The same way that you wouldn't use a driver to putt, or even a hockey stick, if you will, you kind of would use the proper iron for the proper type of shot in golf. And it really does apply very similarly to trading technology, different types of trading platforms, right? You'd want to use the right platform for what you're doing. So some of these things that I want you to think about are true to no matter what type of trader that you are, and no matter what you're trading. These are kind of universal truths or things to think about for trading technology. First and foremost, is your technology best in class? And is it in active development? What does active development mean? The same way that you get those notifications on your phone that you need to update and that there's new features and functionality, best-in-class technology is also doing the same. So they're constantly bettering the platform and the functionality and the technology so that you're using the most up-to-date software and tools available. Data centers and market data feeds, will they hold up during volatility? This is an actual imperative question, especially right now with what's going on with COVID-19. Having a stable infrastructure that can handle extreme bandwidth means that you will be able to use your platform at full capacity during extreme volatility, and that your platform will be able to provide you with fast and stable technology. And then, of course, something that should be important to everybody, customer service. If you need support, if there's an issue, if you have an order that hasn't gone through, can it be resolved? How? What is the process of speaking with your brokerage, and how you'd go ahead and resolve any issues that come up throughout the trading day? Also, new traders need a platform with a demo or a simulator environment. So the same way, this is not my car, by the way, just a fun graphic. The same way that you wouldn't buy a car for the most part without test driving it and seeing how it drives and how you like it, it's important to be able to try out your trading technology platform. Now, for a demo environment, so that you can kind of understand the software, get familiar with it, perhaps make some customizations to it. The simulation mode, more importantly, for being able to practice placing trades without risking real money, and perhaps being able to execute trades in real time with real-time quotes replicating real-world trading conditions. So that way, as you begin to start trading in production, you feel confident and ready both with the functionality and the execution. Another extremely important factor is broker neutrality. What does that mean? So having a broker that understands your trading needs is important. Each brokerage has different types of account minimums or commissions or fees, depending on what you're trading, or depending on how frequently you're trading or what type of volume you're trading. You may choose to select a broker just based on that. It's also common that some traders do have accounts at more than one brokerage, or you may start your career with a brokerage for a year or two and switch brokers. Now, every time that you switch brokerages, or if you have multiple brokers, you don't want to have to switch your technology or software. I like to give the example of Android versus iOS. If you're currently using an Android, for me to ask you to switch to an iOS would take a lot of time and effort to switch all your content, switch your data, learn the system, versus typically you would be able to, if you were switching your provider, your network, you can bring your device in, it switches it for you, and it's almost like a seamless transition. So broker neutral technology means that you could use the same software, the same platform wherever you trade, as long as they're integrated and available there. And that way you wouldn't have to re-customize all of your platform needs or learn a new platform anytime you switch. There's also a ton of different types of platforms. Well, obviously there's mobile. I'm sure many of you have, if not used a mobile platform, you've at least seen one, which is ideal for keeping an eye on open trades, and it's really position trading versus active trading. You're really using the platform to keep an eye on as the market moves. Web-based, which you can access from any internet browser, great for new traders learning how to trade in production. Also great for position trading with low volume, meaning maybe you're only placing a certain amount of trades a day because you're getting started. They're typically pretty easy to use and learn, and you can access them from anywhere. So with travel, or if you're also working a full-time job, using the web and mobile can be quite helpful when you're remote or need remote access to check on your positions. Now, professional trading platforms is where the real power comes in, with a ton of functionality, speed, and depth of market. And I'm going to quickly go through what all of that even means for those of you that may be trading specifically on web and mobile now and are transitioning into professional. So depth of book. Some of you may currently be using level 1 or level 2 data. Level 1 data shows the highest bid and lowest ask data available at the time. Whereas level 2 data will show you a ranked list of the best bid and ask prices from each market participant. So this is an image of a level 2 window from our software, just to give you an example where you can see the depth of book. Also, level 1 screen only shows the number of buyers and sellers with open orders at the current price, whereas level 2 shows the number of buyers and sellers at each price level. And this kind of just diagrams out what all those fields are for, from order quantity to account name, order price, etc. I'm sure Peak Trade maybe will make this available in case anybody wants to see it again. Order routing, what does that mean? Having more choices. You can either send directly your trades to the exchange, or smart order routing, which is a digital search for liquidity, right? For those of you that are not familiar with it, this method is used because of the potential for small price improvements, which makes a huge difference if it's 5,000 shares, right? And they can place the right kind of orders in fast market periods. For example, we work with Citadel, BOAML. They offer large liquidity. Coda and SpeedRoute are sometimes preferred for order routing because of their customization capabilities for clients. These are just some examples of order routing in the professional production environment. Also, order types. So as most of you probably know, the market is open daily from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern for 6.5 hours almost every business day of the year. So there's also pre and post market trading from 4 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern for post market. There's actually been an increase, we've seen so far, a slight increase in pre and post trading due to the market volatility. So some of the reasons why traders may want to take advantage of pre and post market trading is to get a leg up on, as the market's open, perhaps if a company's reported earnings, or if there was some type of newsworthy announcement just made. So that's a benefit of being able to do pre and post. Also, pegged to midpoint orders, where traders are seeking the middle of the national best bid and offer. Some strategies, they may choose to do those types of trades. So you have that available to you for those order types. Having a full scope of view of a stock watch window, where you can see market data and other data elements for a lot of symbols in one window. You can select which symbols you'd want to see, or how many of the stock watch windows you'd want open. Also shows the bid and ask spread, the difference between the highest price a buyer is willing to pay for a stock versus the lowest price a seller is willing to pay. Volume traded for the symbol, and also 52-week high and low. So it's a great at-a-glance tool that you can completely customize for making quick decisions as the market moves. Also, hotkeys. Some platforms come with some that are already preset. You can also customize your own and save them. All of your customizations, including layouts, are saved locally to your computer. So if you do switch brokers, but you're keeping the same software, and you choose to have multiple, say, stopwatch windows open, or have multiple level 2 windows open, the exact way that you choose to save your settings, choose which symbols you're watching, all of that customization will save and translate because it's saved locally to your machine versus to the platform. Also, on the screen, you see a picture of our scanner tool. So shows you the highs and lows of what's active, and saves time in terms of identifying opportunity. Additionally, chart studies. So charts ultimately show you where the price has traveled within a specific time period. So this specific example shows a 5-minute window. Professional platforms do typically have more studies, functionality, such as trend lines, points of support, and resistance. Just to give you an example, the Sterling web platform has about 20 to 30 studies, whereas our professional platform is more robust with about 80 types of studies. So just to give you an idea in terms of what could be available. Also, things to think about are asset classes. So depending on what you're trading could matter for when you're selecting a platform. Most trading platforms do have specialties. Specifically, Sterling, for example, accelerates in equities and options. If you are trading options, you might want to choose a more options-centric platform that really can focus on or have additional functionality for volatility skew, showing options pricing models and the way showing the difference for implied volatility. Also, portfolio analytics, being able to access your portfolio and being able to see a variety of studies in terms of historical data. Institutional traders that are typically trading for clients as opposed to themselves typically need functionalities such as post-trade allocation, where they are moving funds from a pooled account to separate accounts, and algo order entry. So if you've ever heard of the term algo orders, they're executed with an automated pre-programmed trading instructions, whether it be time, price, volume, and they are at the speed of almost like call it the speed of light, like faster than humans. But different types of strategies using algos can help limit risk and help with speed execution. And there are different types of brokers and traders that have different algo preferences as well in terms of specific types of algo order entry, windows, and customization. Specifically though, it's important to think about your trading needs. First of all, identifying what they are, right? So for new traders don't necessarily need a Bloomberg terminal, which can cost upwards of $2,500 a month, right? And you may want to specifically find a broker who is comfortable or used to or has experience working with new traders. New traders also may want a technology that they can grow with without being cost prohibitive. Experienced traders may be more cost sensitive to broker fees based on trade volume. If you get to a point where you're placing a couple trades a day to 100 trades a day, the type of broker you may want to work with may depend on the necessary costs involved in volume. Also, you may have specific order types or strategies to assist with your trading style that might be preferenced from one brokerage to another. And I couldn't end trading technology discussion without a shameless plug of Smart Traders use Sterling. So all of these types of things are really important to think about in terms of universal truths and things to think about as you are accelerating from practicing trading to becoming a new trader to becoming an active trader or retail trader and potentially ever moving to production as a professional trader. It's important to think about and understand the technology available to you, what it can do, what the pros and cons are of certain functionality types, and really being able to take the time in a demo or simulation mode to take advantage of learning and understanding the tools before starting to use them daily while the market's open and while you're placing trades.
Thank you very much, Melinda. It's a great presentation. Like as you said, different traders might have different needs. Not mine. They have different needs, right? And we will open the webinar for any questions. I would like to ask you one question. What do you think about now the whole trend that new brokerage like Robinhood or even who was the last one that announced that there was no fees? I think it was it Schwab that announced that they don't have no transaction fees.
Well,
is that becoming a trend, or is that?
That's an interesting question. I can't speak on behalf of every individual brokerage. However, each brokerage picks and chooses how they are going to operate their costs. So if there's a zero commission fee, you have to also know what other fees are involved. There may be certain software platform fees. There may be minimums, right? Then there may be some brokerages that have a zero commission. And so they're not, because they have zero commission, you may have limitations in order routing, or you may have platform or minimum fees. Whereas if it's not zero commission, you may have different types of order routing available and there are no fees for platform usage or et cetera. So I think, I do think it was, I mean, it became a trend, right, towards the end of 2019, but each brokerage operates differently. Again, based on what you're trading and trade volume, right? And what types of traders. So it's important, I think, if you're, let's say, looking at making a decision between two brokerages and one is offering zero commission trading and the other is not, it might be important to really look at the fine lines of what's being offered. from each one to be able to make the best decision, because there are perks and benefits and pros and cons to every brokerage depending on, regardless of how they charge.
Yeah, totally agree. So there's a question here from Ubaldo Reyes. He says, what risks do I face if I hire a platform like trading, like starting trading tech,
Yes.
if I live in Mexico?
So I'll have to ask for you to elaborate on risks. However, if your brokerage offers sterling, then you would be able to request to your broker that you would like to use your sterling platform. We're integrated with about 80 plus firms worldwide. And so our entire list of brokerages that we're currently integrated with is on our website. And any brokerages that are interested in adding sterling, we are available to be able to integrate pretty easily, and then traders are able to use sterling.
Cool. So do you have anyone in Mexico?
Not currently, but we would love to.
Okay.
I'll leave that to you, Juan.
Well, we do international stocks. We work with Tradier, and they're in the US as well. They're a brokerage aside from like you guys that are technology.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same time zone for the most part, and we have our data centers are located strategically enough that it would be a great integration to add.
Yeah, well, I certainly do think that there's the brokerage in Mexico are not as advanced as you know as you guys and
Well, so a lot of the time, so besides just trading platforms, we also have a plethora of risk and compliance and infrastructure and connectivity products as well, which are more, behind the scenes, if you will, that connect to the clearing firms and the exchanges and that kind of stuff. So if you have brokerages that maybe are interested in at least figuring out how easy it would be to add sterling, I mean, we can be on this webinar.
Okay, yeah. Definitely. What do you think from Jorge? What do you think about the digital platforms from brokers such as Plus 500? I'm not referring to the CFDs or the broker itself, but rather the platforms that operate in this way.
So, Jorge, by digital, do you mean web and mobile, or do you mean digital as in digital currency like crypto? Web and mobile. Well, so like I mentioned in the when I was speaking, web and mobile are great platforms in terms of position trading and for new traders, because they're easier to use. You don't have to necessarily be in front of your desktop all day. You can be remote. You can access it from any computer and your phone. However, that's part of the reason why I went into as in depth as I did of some of the functionality available once you're at the level of using a professional trading platform, because there's just additional functionality available. One of the ways I like to describe actually the difference to, let's say, my friends that ask, what do you do? We don't understand. but I like to give the parallel of the same way that we pay for and download Microsoft Office to be able to use those tools for formatting and Excel and Word and PowerPoint, would be kind of a parallel of paying for and downloading a professional trading platform that has all those tools and functionality, etc., access to. So I would say that for new traders, retail traders, where you might be position trading or holding positions for multiple days, learning how to trade, web and mobile is great to learn on. Also, if you get to the level of using a professional trading platform, our systems are integrated. So for example, let's say you eventually are trading for a living and you're on your desktop using a professional trading platform to trade. You could also still then open, if you're remote or you went to a lunch or something while the market is open, and use a web or mobile to log into your same account that you're using on your desktop with the professional platform and keep an eye on your trades. Like they all have the same backend. So eventually it can still be, if you start with web mobile, eventually get to the point of using a professional trading platform, it still could be an integrated tool into your daily management, if you will, if that makes sense.
Okay, so there's another one that it's probably the next question that someone would ask is, at what point do I consider myself an expert or a basic trader if I already invest and generate yields?
That's a great question. I would say I'm in no place to say who is basic, who is expert. However, typically retail traders would be considered traders who follow the markets closely, typically doing the position trading, holding positions for multiple days, etc. These traders might be using web and mobile, right? And then what we consider active traders are traders who are trading frequently, but are not trading for a living. So typically we say retail, active, professional. Like I wouldn't say there's expert trading, but I think if ultimately, and it looks like it's Andres, I'm not sure exactly what your question is, but if you're asking at what point would you need to know or want to know to go to the level from web mobile to a professional platform, I think that's one of the best parts about having a demo system is that you can request a free demo and kind of kick the tires on the platform to see what is available to you in terms of hotkeys and charts and historical data that might be useful to your specific trading strategy. And do you want to, are there functionalities you may want or need to take your trading to the next level that maybe web and mobile has some limitations to, if that makes sense?
Okay, then we have how can how can an independent stockbroker win through a platform like Sterling? How does it work if I want to have multiple accounts in the name of my clients?
So that's a great question. What would be great is, Juan, you can share my email or our support email. It really would depend on who is your broker or where are you trading through. And then we do have, for example, our Sterling Trader Manager, which you would be able to then see, for example, each account in a breakdown. Also, we have our Sterling Trader Elite platform where you can do post allocation as well if you are trading for clients. So I can publicly share that we're in the process. We are integrated with Interactive Brokers, which I know is a global platform for like an independent stockbroker that might be trading for clients. We are integrated with them currently for small trading groups. We are in the process of being integrated for individual traders. So that is soon to come in 2020. That might be a great option depending on where your current brokerage or where you're currently trading through. But again, I welcome you to shoot an email. So.
I'm looking at, is it support?
Support at sterlingtradingtech.com. Yeah, I would just, otherwise you can email me directly and I can forward it to the right, person.
Okay, let me, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it on the chat. And I'll put yours.
You're putting mine?
I'm putting yours, yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, that way I can kind of personally forward your email to the right person. A lot of the times it's hard to kind of answer individual, everybody has a different situation with what they're trading, where they're trading out of with their brokerage, right? and then what their strategies are, or what their specific functionality needs are. So I always encourage, if you have any additional questions in terms of specifics, to just email, because sometimes the blanket answer isn't always the best answer depending on the case by case.
Thanks, Melinda. So are there any other questions? Ali? Put him on mute, or he unmute himself?
I'm all good. Everything's great. Great presentation, Melinda. You really killed it. You rocked.
Thanks for having me.
We'll do what we can to introduce you to the Mexican market. So, but
this is being recorded, right? I have this on documentation.
Yeah, well, you did offer us a couple million, so we'll make it happen.
Well, I know some of these things are just important to think about. I think it's a little overwhelming. There's so many different types of platforms and so many different types of brokers that it's important to kind of do your research or understand what your needs are. So I figured that's why I tried to make slides of kind of breaking it down in the easiest way possible, versus just talking at everyone.
Definitely. Sounds good.
So, so we can say that Sterling Trading Tech, it's a broker agnostic platform that can be integrated with basically, you know, like summarizing what you're saying. And you have a web, you have a mobile, you have a professional.
We have multiple professional platforms. So we have one that's geared more towards professional traders, one that's geared more toward institutional. We do have an options platform. So we have about 7 or 8 platforms in total. And again, depending on what you're trading, right? They can all they can all be accessed through broker neutral trading. Again, the list of all of the traders that we're currently the list of all the brokers that we're currently integrated with is on our website. So you can kind of go check if you wanted to see if your brokerage that you're currently trading with supports. In terms of web, mobile, and retail, again, interactive brokers may be the answer for individual traders that want to use a professional platform, which is why we're working on that.
So you're working with interactive brokers.
In terms of an individual, right? So if you don't want to trade through a specific brokerage for like a professional trading firm or other firms that have minimums for professional trading, and you're an individual trader that wants to use the professional software, we are integrated with interactive brokers, but right now we're only onboarding trading groups. So we have a couple trading groups through there, but for individuals, we're currently working out all the logistics so that if you're just by yourself as a trader and you want to use the professional software without going to a professional trading firm, that we can have that available as an option.
That's pretty cool. We actually work with interactive brokers as well.
Welcome to Melinda's to-do list for 2020.
That's the public announcement.
So we did announce it publicly a while back, and then because of the way in terms of being able to operate and support, right now we're only having trading groups using it. We're in the process of setting up like an automated process where if you're an individual trader, you'd be able to open your individual account with interactive brokers, then come to our site, set up your own individual account for the professional software, and with a couple steps, it will then be kind of automated and working properly with month-to-month service. So we understand the importance and the need in the marketplace based on requests for individual traders to be able to do that. So it's in the works.
Awesome. Any other questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Pues en español, aquí la traducimos.
Español es más o menos.
I'll make the translation if there's anything. Or Ali can make it.
Mi español es mejor de Juanjo.
Okay, so seems like no questions, but the participants were like steady. So it's very great to have you, Melinda, and finally see your face, although we've been working together thanks for your participation, and we'll make sure to distribute these to our media and the Mexican Stock Exchange and our own platform as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on behalf of Sterling. Sterling's happy to be good friends of Peep Trade, and we look forward to seeing what's to come for Peep Trade and keeping in touch.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks so much to everyone. Thanks, and have a great week.
Sí. Hasta luego, amigos.
Safe of COVID. Thank you.
Thank you.